and I felt a very strong sense of he wasn't worth it. When playing against good players, you know, he just had to work slightly too hard in many matchups. I remember playing against Glutony, against Maru, against Armada, and it was just really hard against very, very good players to both outplay them fundamentally and then also convert properly, do all of Youngling's complicated stuff. You know, I never put like months or anything into a character, but I did put like a solid 2-3 weeks into him. And, you know, that was a very long time ago, maybe like almost a full year, maybe like 9 months. So I've changed my opinion a bit about the game, but I would say that before the patch, Youngling was like a high effort, top of mid tier, bottom of high tier character. The problems I said, and people are spamming in chat, is Youngling kills late, rough recovery, bomb/back air inconsistent. Good, but very hard. Not worth the work you have to put in. One of the things I will add to that is it's very, very hard to play him online. And since I do most of my practice online, it was very painful for me to play him, you know, as my main character. Especially because it's not that Youngling is way worse than online, it's more that you just have to play like this. You know, like this is all you do. You just spam projectiles and you do nothing else. Whereas offline, he can be played much more offensively, and that's the playstyle I want. I don't want to, you know, shoot arrows forever. I want to be actually be able to go in and do shit. However, I felt like after playing Mr. R and seeing, you know, his Youngling was definitely better than mine, and a lot later, he really just showed me that the characters, you know, it's meant to play really campy, and this is kind of how you're supposed to play him. But come 7.0, now he's got a lot of new buffs, which we'll go through, and notably, none of the buffs were to his projectiles, which I think is awesome. I really like the way they're taking the character. So before we go through anything, his recovery is still bad. The main problem with Youngling's recovery is not necessarily short range. He's actually very good at recovering short range. Well, I fucked up. But tether is really, really good. It does have shorter range, as you can see, than some other tethers, but it's still a very good tether. And you can cancel into up B. You know, you can up B with no double jump. You have the bomb recovery where you air dodge and then up B, it explodes, and then you recover. Yeah. Now his up B can be beat by a lot of attacks from above. You can kind of see that in the beginning it's very horizontal. It doesn't cover his top at all. So a lot of characters in the beginning can beat it by falling on top of him with a nair, such as Wolf Nair, Palutena Nair, and downers. But yeah, I think that was fair overall. It's just the problem is that when you kill late and you have stubby limbs and all of his other problems, having a slightly worse recovery, especially when he has no double jump, like being gimpable and edge guardable whatsoever in Ultimate is a massive problem, because the average character, unless the opponent gets lucky with like 2-framing 3 times in a row, or like gets a random spike where the opponent just fucks up off stage, you're generally not getting edge guarded outside of matchup specific things such as like Joker counter, some projectiles like spike wall and stuff like that. Now let's get into the changes, you know, the exciting stuff. His up smash is 10 frames startup, covers spot dodge because it's a multi-move. You know, it's fast, you can do it while running. So it just always felt like it barely didn't kill. If you watched Tweak play Youngling back in the day, it was just like almost did it not kill. And so this move has been buffed. This is against midweights. It kills at 111 instead of 123. So it's a 12% buff. That's not a huge amount when you think about it like that, but it does significantly help, especially when you factor in rage, you factor in up smashing of a platform, lower ceilings, you know, all that stuff. And because Youngling has several confirms to up smash, like you can do air tech chase, you can do fair, and back air, as well as juggle through like this, cover landing. You can get bombs through up smash. Just in general, you can ledge trap with it because it's 10 frames. You know, just land in a lot of different ways. Now, the big thing is that because the aerial confirms you do here, unlike Jokers, which is actually unsafe on shield, Youngling is only -2. So fair 1 or back air 1 are both very, very safe confirms. And they both true combo at the relevant percents. If I stuff sucking for a combo. So that's a big deal, right? Like one of the main kill tools are now significantly stronger. 12% might not sound that much, but over 3 stocks, that's 36%. Having to deal 36% less, that's a fucking big deal, right? Next up, we have Upper. Upper also kills 11% earlier, and that's from in the middle of the stage now kills in this situation at 145 instead of 156. Now this matters a lot because you can combo into upper in many different ways, and it's his main juggling tool. Both hits of the upper are also stronger, so weak hit and strong hit are better. So not only do you have like down tilt up air, which now kills at 111, you can also mix up their DI on this one by running a little bit further like that, so it can kill even earlier. You have arrows. Ooh, that's really bad. Yeah, you have arrows. Wait, oh no, it's not weak hit, but this is what you would do. You have boomerang into arrow into up air, true combo. You have bombs into arrow. You have boomerang into bomb into up air. You have down throw, air dodge mix up air. You know, a lot of really strong follow-ups into up air. And then there's one which I actually think is maybe the most stupid one of these, which is up B into up air. As you see, a combo does 32% damage, and this is actually a massive kill confirm window from an 8 frame startup that also covers spot dodge, and which you can also combo into, you know, through this one or that one, and you can also ledge trap, cover several options. And this will kill even earlier if you get like a fair drag down up B on a platform. Now the thing is, with this one you can actually DI out of this combo, but because it's essentially random, and people have tested this a lot, which way the up B sends, it can be extremely hard for the opponent to know which way to DI. So what that means is you basically have a RNG based 50-50 kill confirm at like that 30-40% window on some characters, which is obviously a massive thing. And this also opens up some kill confirms. Not only can you do down tilt up B, but I've also messed around with things such as that. You can't call it wrong. Which actually kills really early. I think you can maybe kill around here. Yeah. And, you know, there's just a lot of potential with the character to kill now that wasn't previously there. There's one more change, but before that, I actually get into kind of a complaint with these things, which is a lot of people have been saying, you know, the buffs are nice, but they don't change his playstyle. Now, I actually don't agree with that much, because one of Youngling's main problem was because his upper was so weak, he had trouble actually getting through the mid percent. So at this percent, for example, he would get a grab, and he can combo the upper, but you see how it's still, even now, right? It's a little bit weak. They don't go that far, but that a little bit of extra height really actually helps in trying to set up juggle situations. You know, up airing, getting down, and getting in place for the next up air or whatever you want to do, like the next juggle, right? That's more of a quality of life improvement in some ways, but on heavier characters, I actually think this matters a lot, where you can finally like up air them without instantly having to shield because they're gonna fall on top of you with a, you know, aerial. So that's always nice, and obviously the more uppers you can keep on doing, you know, they just keep stringing into themselves, and that will eventually maybe lead to a kill. Right, so yeah, I just like to add that one, that going for uppers now through combos, from down throws, as tank chases, you know, it's a little bit better. And you don't have to worry as much because even the weak hit is now a little bit stronger. You know, that's what I've heard at least, and it seems to be true. Because the patch notes say outright that like upper has just gotten stronger, not the strong hit of the upper. Next up, we have one more kill change, which is forward throw. Forward throw will kill 35% earlier in the middle of the stage. And with the DI, this will not be as significant. It's a very DI-able throw. But as you can see, it can kill at this percent. One good thing about this throw is it's kind of like Searsuit Samus up throw, where it can be very hard to react to getting grabbed in time. Now, will you want to have them at 150? Not necessarily, But it does create a very good mix-up where they have to watch out for fair up smash, and even Nair starts killing at this percent. Having that, and then, you know, instead of going for the fair, you just do empty land forward throw, is a very, very good mix-up to have in those rare cases where you just can't kill them. It's probably his least significant change in terms of killing, but it's still very nice to have, especially if you can catch them DIing out, which is very common. One thing I do sometimes is I pummel them once, where I pretend like I'm gonna pummel them. Like I do this and then just throw just a little bit of a weight. What this can do is it can make people want to mash, because forward throw will eventually kill, right? So they start spinning the stick, and if you're lucky, you catch them when they're holding either up or out, which will make the forward throw kill even earlier than it should. The other thing, outside of just being able to kill a little bit earlier, is actually that at the percents where down throw and up throw upper stops comboing at maybe this percent. Okay, maybe a little bit higher. Oh yeah, you can DI out of this one. It's kind of hard to show. I will do it just to show that I'm not a fraud, that I'm right about this. So you can see that, like, I'm not going to be able to get that one in time, right? Now, this is what's good about it, right? At this percent 90, or maybe even, like, it stops comboing early, like maybe 65, right? Before, all you really had was up throw, hope they miss the DI, or down throw, and then you try to go for a juggle. And again, his upper isn't the best still, so this is not like a super strong position or anything. It's a decent one, but it's not a super strong one. And what you can do now is, because the forward throw is so much stronger base knockback, you can just throw them off. You do it, you throw them off, little bomb, you know, you set it up, and you have a really, really strong ledge trap situation all of a sudden, where normally you would just, you know, barely get them to the edge, or maybe only get slight stage advantage. Actually having this and just having more time to set up, you can also go for, you know, forward throw into arrows, into edge guard, and so on. It's really nice. It's not the biggest change, but I think it really does help his game plan transition from that low percent combos and then kind of struggling at the mid percents and kill percents. He got something that helps him at all percents. You have up air, up smash and kill percents, and also up air and forward throw at mid percents for now those are better juggles. Next up, we have a change that I think is very overlooked actually. If you look at Youngling's frame data, he actually has top ass tier frame data in almost every way. Spot dodge, roll, he even has a good dash speed. His one and only problem was that his jab started at 6 frames. Now, that's not a massive problem for some characters, but for a character like Youngling with a lot of short range, it was actually a really big deal, I think. Because not only does he have short range, so he will be close to you, but a lot of his aerials, right? Nair, fair, back air, they're all -3. What that means is that most of the time when you're hitting a character on shield, or when you're just like getting a lead kick, what you want to do with Youngling was almost always spot dodge before. And you know, spot dodge good, especially spot dodge cancel down tilt. But because he didn't have a great option out of spot dodge, like not a super fast one, it was still a little bit predictable, not as strong as it could have been. And just in general, he really struggled with getting out of pressure situations when Nair wasn't a good option. Nair to shield is only 7 frames out of shield, but it does not always work, you know? So one of the main problems essentially was that he could get in these great situations that every other character would love to be in, being -2, -3 on shield, which is essentially being in the advantage, but he couldn't actually stay offensive after that. It was almost like he was -6, -5 because he had no other good option other than spot dodge. So what the opponent would do was they would shield in air, and then right after, all they had to do was, you know, shield grab or wait and then shield grab. And that was a really, really strong option against that. With this jab change, there's actually a very, very big difference in what will happen in this situation. You do Nair, shields it, and here's the thing, right? I'm gonna try to shield grab with Paolo, 7 frame grab, and I'm gonna jab with Youngling. Barely, you know, it's barely, but it's significant still. Youngling will get the jab out before Paolo gets the grab out. And this can actually happen for many Nair sort of shields. I think Paolo Nair also gets stuff. And this is not only with Nair, this is weak Nair, this is fair, and it's side B. Side B point blank is actually ridiculously safe. it's -4 on shield point blank, which is just ridiculous. It basically means that you can't shield grab him nearly as well anymore. Sair is also only -2, -3 most of the time. So there's just a lot of situations that previously you couldn't really pressure after, that you now have a much stronger mix-up. You don't only have the spot dodge or hold shield, you have an offensive option. And it's really good because jabs in this game, because you can stagger them on shield, even if they read that you're gonna shield and they, you know, shield this and then they do that, you can still mix up how you want to time the rest of the string. Whether you want to do all 3 jabs, whether you want to do gentleman, or you want to do 1 grab, 1 2, 1 2 3. You know, there's a lot of different options you can do with jabs in this game, and because of the buffer system as well, it's very, very easy to catch someone trying to roll, trying to narrow the shield by just slightly delaying the jabs. The jab does a decent amount of damage, and it sets up for the rest of his game plan. I just think it's a very, very important tool for his low percent specifically. There's a lot of times with Young Link where you don't get a strong hit, you get kind of this hit, and previously jab wouldn't combo most of the time, whereas this time, although it might not always true combo, essentially it helps his mix-up game significantly, because the only thing they can do to not get hit by weak nair jab is to shield. And again, jab is semi-safe on shield, it's a mix-up, and that means you can now instead do weak nair grab as a like almost true 50-50 mix-up, since spot dodge will be covered by jab as well. You can also do fair 1 jab true combo, even at 0. Back air 1 jab true combo at 0. There's like a lot of different situations where you won't necessarily have the best combo, but having the jab to easily react and get, you know, 23 damage is a whole hell of a lot more than nothing. Because of the buffer system, you know, you don't have to time it. You can go for every combo that's a 1 frame Link in this game, you can just go by holding down the button. And because Young Link uses nair, uses fair, and back air so much, these situations come up a lot at low percents, where you will nair them out of shield, and you won't really have time to do anything else than that. But see, that comboed. It might not have comboed before. And it just makes it a lot easier for him to play around this mid percents in a way that's not just straight projectile camping. Kind of makes him a lot more practical and fun to play offensively, especially. Another nice thing that I didn't mention is that his jab slides, so you can do this as an approach instead of dash attack. His dash attack is kind of mediocre, or honestly pretty bad. But now you have dash up jab, which is significantly faster now. As you can see he kind of slides over there. But yeah, it's a very, very nice quality of life change. It helps him frame data. It helps him. You can basically parry jab punish every single thing in the game, where you could not do that. You didn't have a punish for some moves that were -2. Whereas most characters have parry grab to punish moves that are -3, -4. Young Link didn't have that because his grab is slower, right? So just having that parry jab punish is so nice. Now let's go to the last change. And I actually think this might be the biggest change. His Sair. Sair is now a lot longer. It has a different knockback. Mid-air grab, this is the increased attack speed, so it's faster now. It's 2 frames faster. It has 4 frames more hit stun. It has a better launch angle. And then also, he has a bigger shield size, which many characters have, but it's still nice for him not to get shield poked anymore. Here, let me show you. Yeah, it's slightly bigger. It's not the biggest shield. It's still a very nice buff. And yeah, his Sair is significantly longer now. Has more hit stun. It's faster startup, 8 frames instead, which means you can actually like reactively jump around, think should I shoot an arrow, should I do an arrow, should I double jump, should I land, and then just decide to Zair on the way down. Whereas before it was way harder. And the added range really, really helps as well. This, in my opinion, kind of completes his game plan against some characters. It's a little bit rough to hit on short characters. It doesn't beat a lot of moves still, but it is still a very, very nice change to throw out every now and then. It's not the thing you throw out all the time, but for a character which main problem was lack of range, having one far range move, even if it's not the best move, is still a massive thing. And the biggest thing, in my opinion, is just the outright reward. It only does 5 damage, right? But at basically all percents, you get an amazing combo. So at all percents, you can do run up down tilt, you can do grab, you can do F smash, dash attack, up B. I mean, you can do basically anything, and it's such a big deal. If you can learn to use it properly, this change will be maybe the single biggest change on the defense. So at low percents, my advice is go for down throw. Young Link has really good down throw combos once you learn them. It can be a little bit hard to land online, but trust me, once you learn them, you'll get a lot of damage from there just by going for a down throw. You can definitely look at the better Young Links for more optimal combos for this. You have a lot of combos, right? And like honestly, Young Link does a lot of damage with his low percent combos. Whether it's through down throw or on B, his backers, when you can string them, just honestly does a lot of damage. Like that's 45.8 damage. That's a lot of damage from such a far range move. Sair is also -3 on shield, so it's practically always safe, and you can always Sair jab before they can grab as well. I really think this change helps his low percent, mid range, and high percent game out, because what he can do at high percents is also amazing. At this percent, you can do dash up B, can't work, but dash up smash is the biggest one. The fact that this kills now, and that this combos is just amazing. The opponent can sometimes DI this in a way where it makes it a little bit harder, but most of the time, even with DI, this will work. And it's a one-hit move that starts in 8 frames, so you can't really react to it either. And you can also do moves like this, like, yeah, it's just really fucking nice to be able to have a Sair that combos well. That's actually all of the changes. Now, let's try to answer the question. Is Young Link top tier now? I don't know. It's honestly too early to tell exactly how big these changes will be. I think they're really big. I don't agree whatsoever when people say these are just quality of life changes. No, I think Young Link might be the character outside of Shotos, like the single most buffed character outside of Shotos. Shotos didn't get as buffed in any single patch, but they did get buffed several times. So yeah, I think this not only might be the character that got buffed the most in terms of just like pure strength change, but also Young Link was never bad, so this actually might be one of the most impactful changes for the meta, and might be, we don't know, but if people decide to play him like Tweak, it might actually, you know, change performance results significantly. Now another thing that I want to mention is that a lot of top tiers that Young Link struggled with have been nerfed throughout, you know, the different patches. Wolf used to be a really hard matchup. He got nerfed 3 times. Palutena, yeah, the character we're playing against in this patch recently got significantly nerfed. And actually nerfed in a way that kind of matters too. She can no longer down throw back air as a kill confirm, which used to work against Young Link. Nair now does not kill nearly as easily, and Young B is a very easy target to run off a Nair for her. So that changes a lot. Now, there's other matchups that got nerfed, which might not have been Young's worst, but are still nice. Like Joker got nerfed, CSS got nerfed. So those are really nice things too. But I actually think one of the things that might help him the most, and might help him appear the most in the meta, is that many people are now saying that Peach is one of, if not the single best characters right now. And Young Link was a character that people said even before the patch had an even matchup with Peach. And now he might honestly win. And having a winning matchup on, you know, the best character is honestly a really good trait to have for any character. I'm not sure how he does against Pikachu. I actually think he might do fine against Pikachu, since he does have good on shield game. He, you know, he can play around Pikachu's up B a bit better than most characters. But he does get edge guarded, that's the main problem. But yeah, overall, I think he's just gonna buff very significantly. You know, it is maybe not a single change that will help him a fuck ton, but I think there's a lot of small changes that will eventually add up. Now, to the question that maybe some people are asking is, will I play him? So for me, I'm not really sure where I am competitively with Ultimate. 2 of my main gripes with Young Link still stand, however, despite him being significantly stronger. And those are, 1, inconsistencies. We already talked about the up B, right? Up B being a 50-50 kill confirm. I hate RNG. I really don't like that it's pseudo random, you know, whether or not the up B goes forward or backwards. It's so stupid in my opinion. To add to that, another kill confirm tool he has, bombs, are also essentially randoms in many situations. They can send both forward and backwards, as you see there. And while it's technically possible to figure out which way the opponent's gonna go in both up B and bombs, practically with 76 characters, different hurtbox animations, you know, the bomb works differently when you throw it like that versus from an arrow. It's just really tough. Even when playing against Ramen, another great Youngling player, he also says that it's essentially random whether or not it will go to the left or the right, and you just kind of have to hope. Right there, I hope for the reverse one. That time, I hope for the forward one, and yeah, it's just really annoying to get the kill but not get the combo because the game decided to, you know, inconsistently choose which way the opponent is gonna go. There's another drive I have with Youngling, and that's simply, he's just really annoying to have to fight. And I don't like playing characters where even if I'm having fun throwing projectiles, you know, arrow, bomb, major down air, and stuff like that. You know, I like playing fighting games and characters that where even when the opponent's losing, they have a good time. Even when I'm massively outplaying them, they can say, man, that was fun. In some of Youngling's matchups, unfortunately, this is what you're going to be doing a lot. You know, you're going to throw a lot of projectiles, and that's just the way it is. However, if I enjoy him enough, I might be able to get over this. Sadly enough, there's not too many top tiers that a lot of people love fighting, and some of the characters that, you know, people don't mind as much often end up getting nerfed, such as Joker and Wolf. Yes, I know, you know, Reddit probably hates fighting both those characters because they were common, but among top competitors, both those characters are generally more well liked than, say, a Pac-Man or a Rob, which, while more rare, are a lot more annoying to fight. Anyway, I think that's kind of sums it up. I'll definitely keep investigating, keep playing this character more, especially offline. So tune in, follow my Twitch on that, follow my Twitter if you have any more hot takes. Subscribe to YouTube again. I'm gonna have a Is Byleth bottom 10 video up next. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.
You know what you're hurts like the back of my claws.
Do you tell patients to subscribe to your channel?
Yes.
Imagine I walk into a room. Hi, I'm Dr. Varshavsky. You were just involved in a code blue. Please subscribe. Please sub. What's up, folks? Dr. Mike here. I'm back at it with another responding to comments video. I will say, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but you are slacking. I want more questions in the comment section. Get to it, start writing, even if it's in the middle of this video. Don't stop until you get your question answered, because I want to answer all of them. Let's get started. In reality, the only times my channel comes up with my patients is if they already know me, or in the instance that we've run out of time and a patient wants to know about a specific subject and I know I have a video on that subject, I'll then recommend that they check out one of my videos. But I don't push it on anybody. That's not for office time. That's strictly for us. Me and you and me, you know, YouTube. Karen Cobster. Dumb question. There is no such thing as a dumb question. In a heated situation where one has to perform CPR, how does a person ensure that no ribs get broken, particularly the ones nearest to the lungs?
You don't.
Well, almost all the ribs are near the lungs. It's not something you should think about. That's the bottom line. What you should think about is making sure that help is called, that you've nominated someone to call help or called help yourself. And right away, if the person's not breathing, no pulse, to start pounding on that chest, doing it at 100 beats per minute, singing Staying Alive, if you will, and pushing at least 2 inches deep. So you gotta
Breaking ribs
push
is
pretty
always
firmly in
better
order to
than
make
just
that happen.
suffocating
You
to
crack
death.
a rib, no worries. You're extending the person's life in order to get them help. They're already gone. By doing the chest compressions, you're actually increasing their chance for recovery. That's the best thing you can do when someone's heart stops. Who tends to bear when you work a long shift? Robin Cherry Siegler. The great thing is that one of my close friends is my neighbor, so he gets to hang out with Bear. Then my nephews oftentimes take turns coming to see Bear. Sometimes I have someone clean my apartment while I'm not home. So there's always someone taking care of Bear or hanging out with Bear when he's alone for a long period of time. And I don't work the 14-hour shift that you guys saw on my vlog the other day all the time. That's like a once a week thing where I have a really long shift that I wanted to take you with me on. But in reality, most of my shifts are shorter than that, and Bear's not alone for more than, 6-8 hours, which he's totally fine doing, and he sleeps in the bathroom.
Okay, yes, it's a dog.
Anyway. Bear, do you hear his? He's totally fine doing, and he sleeps in the bathroom even if I'm home at that time anyway. Bear, do you hear his little feets? Hey, little puppers. You want to say hi to the camera? They want you to say hi. God, you're such an aggressive kisser. Bear, ask for consent. Connor Perry, can hats give you headaches? Great question. There's actually a type of headache that's lesser known. It's called a compression headache from wearing helmets, headbands, hats. All of those things that can put unnecessary pressure on your scalp can actually cause you a headache. Not to worry though, generally when you take those things off in a few hours, maybe if you need to take something over-the-counter medication, it'll go away. But the reason this happens is because there's always movement between the sutures of your scalp, and there's always a little bit of movement. There's blood flow that needs to happen. There's a little bit of expansion there, and when you don't let that happen, you can actually get a headache known as a compression headache. So Connor, great question. Is it true that stress can lead to the growing of white hairs? First of all, Ariel, I gotta tell you, I got them white hairs. What's happening is actually you have a decrease in melanin producing cells called melanocytes in the hair follicle. If your hair is white, that means you completely have lost all your melanin. But if you have some, you get gray hair. So it's almost like partial pigmentation, if you will. Now, the question you asked is if stress affects it. We know genetics is the most important thing, but stress seems to play a role in this. I've looked into this myself. We don't have a cause and effect relationship. Let me tell you that outright. But when we look into it, we do see some sort of pattern and correlation emerge between those who don't sleep enough, who have very competitive jobs, high stress levels at work, family members. They generally gray earlier. Our reasoning for this, which is unproven but what we think happens, is that there's an inflammatory response from free radicals that occurs from stress. And that actually interferes with the melanin process, like the way that the color is brought to the follicle. And when that happens, you're more likely to gray earlier. While science hasn't given us a definitive answer, I'm gonna give it a preliminary true, that stress does cause your hair to turn gray sooner. Is cracking my knuckles a bad idea? Will I get arthritis? Well, Henry, I can't promise if you're gonna get arthritis or not. But what I can tell you is that medical research has looked into the science of cracking knuckles. And that sound that you hear is actually just nitrogen bubbles popping in your synovial fluid. Synovial fluid is the stuff that lubricates your joints. And when you hear that cracking, you think that's a bad thing, that your bones breaking or anything like that. That's not really the case. It's these completely harmless nitrogen bubbles. And there's been really decent evidence that shows it does not lead to arthritis, and unless it's causing you some kind of pain or discomfort, it's usually and generally pretty harmless. If it makes you feel better, psychologically speaking, crack away. And as long as you're not bothering anybody, that's fine. Now, if you're getting pain when you're cracking, maybe you already have arthritis, maybe you have a tendon injury, definitely don't crack in those scenarios. If you find yourself needing to crack, otherwise you do have pain, that could also be a sign that something's going on and you should talk to your doctor. But in general, know that when you crack your knuckles once, see, like, now I can't crack them again. The reason why is because you need to give time for those nitrogen bubbles to reform in the synovial fluid. It's kind of a fun fact for you. Catherine Allard, how many patients do you have? Just wondering. That's a good question. I see around 30, 40 patients a week in my outpatient office as a family medicine doctor, doing primary care stuff and urgent care. And then I have probably a panel of, like 500, 600 patients that I've built up from residency who I'm their primary care doctor, that when they schedule an appointment for a follow-up, whatever it is, they schedule it with me. This panel of patients that I built up, I have a very close relationship with them. Not all of them come in all the time, and sometimes they can get care from one of my colleagues, but they're important to me because we've established a rapport, I know their history. That's the beauty of having a family medicine doctor, so that we don't give you unnecessary care, and we can guide you to the best specialist, the best imaging places, the best physical therapists, all of that. Navigating the health system can be a really troublesome feat. And if you have a good guide and a family medicine doctor, it's gonna save you a lot of time, money, trouble, and you're gonna get better outcomes. Marcos Morales, aren't canker sores and cold sores the same thing? They may look similar, but they're actually not the same thing at all because of their cause. Cold sores are caused by a virus, and canker sores are sometimes can be caused by a virus, but usually they're caused by some sort of stress. Whether that means it's a stress to your immune system, it could be a stress, like a physical stress, like if you have braces and they're rubbing along a specific part of your mouth, the inside of your cheek, you can get a canker sore. Also, hot liquids, spicy foods can sometimes cause canker sores. It's really a physical stress. Cold sores come from a virus, and unless you have been infected by that virus, you're never gonna get a cold sore. Canker sores you can get, virus or no virus. Kelly Vo, hey doc, what's your intake on dragon's breath, aka liquid nitrogen? Is it safe to consume? What? Dragon's breath? It doesn't sound safe, so I wouldn't do it. The only thing that should be going into your lungs is air, and ideally you like it to be clearer air, like what we're breathing in New York City is not ideal. So, no, I think liquid nitrogen doesn't sound safe to consume. I need more information before I give you an official doctor's recommendation. Lydia Dimmock, I often lucid dream and walk and talk in my sleep. I feel like some nights it could be causing me to be deprived of sleep. What should I do? Ooh, that's a good one. Sleepwalking is actually a problem. And sometimes people realize it, luckily, because one of their partners realizes it, their family members realizes it. The real solution here is to get a proper workup from a doctor, hopefully one that specializes in sleepwalking, so that we can figure out the cause, perhaps give you a treatment for the cause, whether that means lifestyle changes or even medications, and monitor your sleep to see if it continues happening. But know that there are treatments out there. Shruti Kulkarani, what can we do to reduce muscle soreness after exercises? Oh man, this is something I struggle with. DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Man, I get this so bad on the second day after like heavy workout or a new workout. Things that I do that I think work quite well. Warm up and cool down are crucial. And it doesn't mean stretching.
Come on, nobody ever plays
muscle. The second thing is I love massage. Even though massage may not improve circulation as much as we'd like in muscles, it still feels good. It's relaxing and lowers your cortisol levels, which allows you to recover better. And then the final thing is, on the day after a workout and you feel sore, and even the second day after, do a little active recovery. Do some of the motions that are sore, but don't do them with heavy weights. So lower by like 80% the intensity of the action, and you'll see that your blood flow will start to improve and you'll get better recovery. That's something I really enjoy doing. Entity 303 does stuff. What is the best way to remove sodas and energy drinks from your diet? The best way. Cold turkey. Walk to your fridge, take them out, spill them out, recycle the bottles, and then say you quit. If it's not in your home and you don't buy it, you're not gonna drink it. That's the bottom line. Maddie Baker. I wanted to go and follow you on Twitter, but your account is suspended. What did you do? I didn't do anything. I think my Twitter account is fine. I'm gonna look it up right now. No, my Twitter account is fine. Maybe you wrote this a long time ago. First of all, you need to follow me on Twitter. It's Real Doctor spelled out Mike. I post some good articles. I give my opinions on things. You really should be following me there. So go on Twitter and follow me. Just saying. Here's an awesome playlist I put together for you that starts off with my hospital vlog, literally a full day in the hospital where I teach everybody about how to stay happy and healthy. I'll see you on this playlist. Let's do it.
What?
Welcome to another Wikipedia Weekend, and what we're talking about this week, Lucas,
Lightsabers.
and the guy who wields them, Darth Vader. Okay, so today we are talking about Darth Vader. There's a lot of wiki pages about Darth Vader, so specifically we are using the one on the Villains Wiki, which we've used before, just because it's not as in-depth as the one on the Star Wars Wiki.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
But do you know what the Star Wars Wiki is actually called? It's actually kind of like this.
No?
It's called Wikipedia. Anyway,
That's awesome.
but like the one on Darth Vader is like 1,000 million words long.
Yeah, because it'll be like the most catalogue character along like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, the Villains Wiki has a more condensed version of that doesn't basically explain every little thing about the character.
It's just got, here's some cool things about Darth Vader.
And let's get straight into it. Let's just start with Darth Vader. Let's go vital statistics and things like that. Let's read these character cards, shall we? So, full name, Anakin Skywalker. Pretty good, not bad.
It's a lie. I still consider them separate characters.
I do, yeah. I think like they are. The fact that as well, Anakin Skywalker gets redeemed, but Darth Vader doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of like the fact that Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen, is in the Force Ghost, because that's the last time he was like, still Anakin. But anyway, that's like, an argument for another day. But aliases: Darth Vader, Lord Vader, Dark Lord Vader, the Dark Lord, Vader, the Chosen One, Darth, Master Vader. So basically just variation. Do you know what I feel like? That was like when Darth Vader first got on the scene.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what? I'm trying to come up with that name. I don't know what works.
Trying out a few different things.
He's trying out his MSN screen and changing it a few times. It reminds me of like Horizon Zero Dawn. We had this discussion earlier, didn't we, where you can swap around any part of that title and it sounds exactly as that. Horizon Zero Dawn. Zero Horizon Dawn. So similarly, Lord Vader, the Dark. Dark Lord Vader. Vader, Dark. Also, I think it's funny that in one of the Star Wars movies, before Darth's supposed to be a title bestowed upon someone, in one of the earlier movies, because like Alec Guinness didn't give a shit, he refers to Vader as Darth, as if it's his name. And they never bothered to correct it in any of the special editions. So yeah, that's a huge inconsistency in the film. So like, surely Obi-Wan would know that Darth is a title and not his name.
Yeah, he's just calling him Darth instead of Vader.
Yeah, or Anakin. But yeah, you know what, fuck it. So, powers and skills. So, incredibly strong command of the dark side of the Force. Telepathy, precognition, mind manipulation, psychometry. I don't know what that means, but I'm presuming there's a thing in Star Wars about it. There's no blue words here. Barrier creation, energy manipulation, aura sensing, clairvoyance, materiokinesis. Is that Final Fantasy VII thing? Materia, let's go. Consume essence, force stun, pyrokinesis. Of all characters to have that, I did not expect Darth Vader. No. You think he wouldn't like fire? It's like when you realise that Darth Vader, when he was Darth Vader, had a castle on a lava planet. You think the last thing Darth Vader would want to see when he looks out his fucking window will be lava? but whatever. Inhuman resilience, superhuman strength, lightsaber proficiency, expertise in piloting, and military genius.
He's pretty good at
Yeah. I also like as well how they, in the Star Wars universe, piloting a ship is a genetic trait. And that's why they say Kylo Ren's so good at flying stuff. Because obviously Darth Vader was his grandfather and Han Solo was his father. As if it's something that's like, genetically inherited and not a skill that can be learned. Like, how dumb is that?
Yeah.
You're good at flying this because, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader's good at flying things, so Luke Skywalker is also good at flying things.
So stupid.
I just got to this section that says hobbies, and the top one is just torturing his enemies. So Darth Vader's hobbies are, and I quote, according to this wiki, torturing his enemies, manipulating and force choking his officers when they fail him, slaying rebels, and meditating. Alright, ladies, let us know if you saw that in a guy's Tinder profile, would you swipe right or left? So I like meditating and torturing my enemies. Goals: save his loved ones from death, parentheses, failed. Protect the Galactic Empire, parentheses, failed.
It's really not good at his
Use the
job, is he?
Mustafarian artifact to go immortal and bring Padme back from the dead, parentheses, failed. Turn his son Luke Skywalker to the dark side and rule over the galaxy, parentheses, failed. Ensure the Death Star's construction is moving well without any disturbances or interruptions, parentheses, succeeded. Serve Emperor Palpatine. Succeeded, mostly. That's good. I like that. So what you need to do now, Lucas, is get an edit of that scene where Darth Vader just throws Palpatine off the edge and just serve the Emperor with a little tick next to it. Okay, now, so
I mean, if, episode 9 is to be believed, I guess he did protect him in the end.
oh god, it's so fucking on. We have here some choice quotes from Darth Vader. Do you want to guess what the top one is?
Is it no, I am your father?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you got that right. Because
Yeah.
everybody always gets that wrong. And do you know the entire exchange?
I know most of it, I think.
Okay, so we'll do it now so people know it's for reference, and it is Vader, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
It's like, he told me enough, you killed him.
And then Vader says, no, I am your father.
Oh,
But
okay,
it's
yeah.
a bit stilted, a bit wonky, so I think pop
It's way
culture-
more catchy to just be like, Luke, I am your father.
And yeah, and a lot of people get weirded out. It's like a Mandela effect thing when you tell them that, and they go, "No, I remember it as Luke. I am your father." It's really not.
It's like, go and watch it.
It's never been-
definitely not.
It's like in the original Sherlock Holmes novels. Sherlock Holmes never says "elementary, my dear Watson," and everyone swears that he does. It's like, no, it never appeared in any of the books.
You just say elementary though, like.
Yeah, he says elementary and he says "my dear Watson."
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got combined.
But people just, in their heads, have just put them together, yeah.
Or like Lassie, where Timmy never actually fell down a well. In any original episode of Lassie, ever.
What?
He never fell down a well.
What?
Am I blowing your mind like that? Timmy
I've never watched Lassie, but that's all I know about it.
Timmy never fell down. I think he fell into a hole in one episode, but it wasn't a well. Anyway.
Look,
So,
Tim-
the next quote we have is one of my personal favourites. It's the stupidest. Don't be too proud of this technological terror you have constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant to the power of the Force. Delivered much better than I did by James Earl Jones. And my
Of course,
favourite
yeah.
thing about that is the next thing Darth Vader does is choke a man, and the Death Star can blow up a planet. So it's like this thing that can destroy planets is insignificant compared to the power of the Force. As I choke someone, something you could do with your bare hands.
Like, but Carl, he chokes him from a distance.
Yeah, from quite far away, even though he has a lightsaber.
Like, from across a table.
And I get it because they say that multiple times because size is nothing compared to the Force. Like Yoda lifts up the Y-wing,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But to me, they never actually showcase the Force doing anything on the same scale as the Death Star. Save for spoilers for Rise of Skywalker. There! Just like ultimate jazz hands. So let's just go straight to portrayals. Some people might not know this. He was portrayed by David Prowse, who talked about on the channel before, and voiced by James Earl Jones, who, fun fact, originally didn't want a credit for the voice.
Oh.
He didn't think his contribution to the character was big enough to deserve a credit, so he originally wasn't credited in the theatrical cut, and I think they put it on after the fact in DVD and video releases.
So, his entire character's voice is not enough of a.
No, he saw it as special effects. James Earl Jones believed it's akin to special effects. Where it's like, no, I'm just doing a voiceover. Why? It's like David Prowse.
Does he not want like credit for voiceovers?
No, he didn't give a shit. So he said like David Prowse is Darth Vader, and I think in the original David Prowse had sole credit, and then it was James Earl Jones as a joint credit, and then in another film, I forget the name of the guy now, but it was all sword fighting. So it's a shared triple credit, so 3 people portray Darth Vader. So at the end of Return of the Jedi, he was portrayed by the late Sebastian Shaw. So he's the guy who like plays when the mask comes off. And did you hear that he didn't give a fuck about Star Wars? He didn't know. Like Alec Guinness, you know the backstory, it's like he hated Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I know about Alec Guinness.
Yeah, Alec Guinness hated Star Wars, and there's a famous story, a kid comes up to him and says, "Can you sign my autograph, Obi-Wan? I've watched Star Wars 100 times." He said, "I'll sign it as long as you promise never to watch that trash again."
Oh.
And the kid started crying.
Oh my god.
The story goes that Alec Guinness and Sebastian Shaw had worked together in like theatre a few years earlier. And he didn't know he was going to be on set. Alec Guinness was like, "What are you doing here?" "No, I'm here for a silly sci-fi thing." Obi-Wan went, "Yeah, me too."
Oh, sorry, Alec. You know that your entire life just got paid for by Star Wars.
Oh yeah, because Alec Guinness got 5% of the gross, and I think his family still gets that. They deserve it apparently.
Yeah,
But
what
like,
silly sci-fi thing.
powers and abilities. And they say here's a little quote about him. He was the best star pilot in the galaxy and a cunning warrior. Yeah. Yes, he was. And I also love as well, you see someone pointed out recently that in the original trilogy, when Darth Vader first fights Luke Skywalker, said, Obi-Wan trained you well. It's because Luke Skywalker has the high ground. You can't defeat him. So the Force. As the Chosen One, they even capitalised the Chosen One, fuck you know. Vader was immensely powerful and has an amazingly strong connection to the Force, stronger than any known Force user in existence. Enter Galen Marek, the Starkiller who's no longer canon, ripping Star Destroyers out of orbit or whatever. However, after he was burned alive on Mustafar and forced to become a cyborg, I like that idea, he was forced to become a cyborg against his will. He never reached his full potential as the physical trauma caused by his transformation greatly limited his ability to use the Force to his full potential. So, how much do you know about this, like in behind the scenes, like Star Wars canon, comics and books and that sort of thing?
Not particularly. I mainly just know like the mainline film.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that I kind of like about the Trail of Vader. They say all of like when they say his connection to the Force was severed, and that's because obviously midichlorians in your blood. There's less of his body physically, so he physically has less midichlorians. He's less powerful. They allude to the fact that no, actually he could be as strong as he ever could have been as like a whole complete man without augmentations. It's all psychological.
Yeah.
He believes that he can't reach his true potential, so he can't reach his true potential.
So he's got like
It's that
PTSD about it.
Yeah, it's that thing of, because he doesn't believe in himself, he can't become that. It's like,
God.
so good. But then again, no, he's a robot. So he's got telekinesis, force choke. Force choke. It's my favourite thing, like the little detail that's pointed out to me, where it's Darth Vader force chokes people like that. But in Rogue One, you see him go like that. It's like, he just killed that guy straight up because he's pissed off. He's not like choking him, he's killing him. He's just severing
snapped his neck. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fucking good. It's the best part of the entire film.
I do love in a couple of games where you've been able to control Darth Vader, just force choke someone into the air and then throw your lightsaber at them.
No.
It's like, oh god.
It's like that first bit in Force Unleashed when you just Kamehameha-ing Wookiees through the forest. It's like, Kashyyyk, the lad. It's like when the Wookiee warriors are jumping through the air and you Darth Vader, you think, what chance do you fucking have against Darth Vader, Mr. Unnamed Wookiee 6?
Yeah.
And you just like Kamehameha blast and they just like ragdoll across the light. It's so good. So he could mind probe, mind control, force sense, force rage. I love that, like force rage. Basically, he gets really angry. Force deflection, force destruction, and then we've got cyborg strength. I love that. Like, he's obviously got big robot hands. As a cyborg, Vader was physically stronger than most other sentient beings. Enough that he can hold the pressure of several tons to effortlessly lift the weight of a grown man or crush bones with his fist. Vader used this to his advantage in lightsaber combat. It's like, no shit, he does. I also like, they never show it, but like Darth Vader can just jump really high.
Yeah,
He's got robot legs. He can go whoop, but he never does it.
And they can force jump as well, so it's like a combination of two things.
Like, the fact we never see Darth Vader do a backflip is like completely wasted. Because Anakin loved doing that shit.
Yeah.
Because again, I've read a lot of stuff about Star Wars. The reason that Anakin fights with backflips, it has no benefit in combat. He does it to show off.
Oh yeah, of course
Because
he
he's
would.
like,
yeah.
he keeps getting told you're the chosen one, you're the best force user ever. He does it to show off how good he is with the force. He's doing backflips, like force-assisted backflips. He seems to be really difficult, which is why only people like Yoda can do
I
it.
was gonna say, just look at Yoda fighting when he's just like ping-ponging around a room.
Just like,
I can use the
I
Thor.
just love that one of though. Like, oh man, why is Yoda considered so badass? He's like this 3-foot tall green alien, and he just like smashed it. It's like, oh yeah, I guess.
You
like,
know they pull that scene in just for all the haters.
he's
like,
just loving it. Oh man. Onto a trivia section. So Darth Vader's iconic status has made the character seen as the evil in popular culture. I guess that's fair. It's like, he is so
he is
evil,
like the epitome of it.
but he's so cool. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, he's too cool. Like, the fact that he murdered all those children kind of like sours you on the fact that Darth Vader as a design is really fucking good.
Oh, it's awesome.
'Cause he's just a modern take on the samurai.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
like-
it's sci-fi samurai.
Sci-fi samurai with like, you know, influence of a knight. It's the cape. Like the knight's cape. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so Darth Vader has personally killed 3 Inquisitors, the Second Sister, an Unnamed Inquisitor, and the Twilight Inquisitor. However, the Grand Inquisitor commits suicide after his defeat rather than face Vader's wrath.
Oh god. I love that Vader's wrath.
It's more the thing of like, oh man, I failed, I've got to explain to Darth Vader. Oh god, no. When Return of the Jedi was released on Blu-ray, Vader saying no, his redemption scene was added. So what do you think about the no? It's so shit.
It's so stupid.
It ruins the moment of the scene. Just the fact that you like, I think the Mandalorian, which I've seen a few clips of, not the actual thing, but like showcases this perfectly. Where the character doesn't need to speak. Like you can show something purely with body language, and when you see just Darth Vader like slowly looking between, like you know, seeing his son getting horribly like tortured with
Yeah.
lightning, all you need is just the movement of him walking towards him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But with purpose, oh, I'm gonna fuck you. You don't need the no. So bad.
It's so awful.
Oh man, I think I've talked about it before, but I fucking love the German version of Star Wars. Just for that bit, Joey becomes Darth Vader for the first time. Just 'cause that bit where he like becomes Darth Vader. It's just 9 as like the entire universe shakes around him. It's like, oh god damn it.
Oh, that's cool.
Darth Vader's line, "No, I am your father," has become the most well-known and memorable quote ever in Star Wars, even though, as mentioned earlier, everyone quotes it wrong. Receiving many various parodies in many media, fan fiction or merchandise alike. Although most assume the line was, "Luke, I am your father," one of the best memorable ones would be 1999's Pixar film Toy Story 2, where Emperor Zurg tells Buzz that he is his father. It's a parody of the scene in Empire Strikes Back.
I love the fact that like they just went Star Wars in Toy Story 2.
Oh man, Toy Story's so fucking good. Oh god
Yeah.
damn, I love Toy Story. Why is that film just so OP? I love it. Darth Vader, alongside Galen Marek, the apprentice, made a guest appearance in Soul Calibur 4. Oh man, I fucking love that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh man, the favourite bit is like his back throw is the Emperor toss, and you can do it off the stage. So I would always, when I played Vader, get people into the corner and do that throw off the edge. Darth Vader made a cameo in the 2012 animated film Wreck-It Ralph on the side of a games console. I didn't know that. And then the final one is, in Angry Birds Star Wars, both he and his heroic counterpart are portrayed by the Red Bird.
Why is it that out of all Star Wars trivia we ended on Angry
I
Birds?
don't know.
I think that sums up like just the commercialism
Yeah,
of Star
it
Wars.
sums up like the commodification of what is like one of the greatest villains in all of history. The way I've heard it put is, in 500 years, people will know who Darth Vader is. And he is that. He's up there with, like, you know, classic villains from literature. He's all like Moriarty and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's that like little red bird thing with.
And I love that one as well. Oh man, the new Star Wars trilogy has ruined, like, you know, Darth Vader and the Star Wars franchise. It's like, oh, here's an unrelated clip from like Galaxy's Edge. It's just Darth Vader dancing on stage with stormtroopers.
Doing like a Michael Jackson dance.
It's like Darth Vader has not been fucking terrifying in a long ass time, and that's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, that's the way it is. Thanks, Disney.
Shit.
has been slain. Double kill. Your team has destroyed a turret. Some enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. Shut down. Killing spree.
Shit.
An enemy has been slain.
Dropping frames again. Nice.